Hello. So I have a new kit. It's quite a small kit in a way, although it has taken me such a long time to actually get this done. The kit has 4 tags, which would be double-sided when you print and cut. They're all slightly different, and this is the full-size version. And then in the kit I've also done 2 other sizes because I had ideas of what I would use them for. So I thought it would be a good idea to kind of include that size in the kit. So there are 4 tags and elements. Let's start with a big one. So I'm going to ink this. On 2 of the tags we've got an edge, and on 2 of the tags there isn't. And the reason I've done that is because you might want to put an eyelet in some of them. I've not left the hole because your eyelet might be a different size. This one is more suitable if you want to put a tab on. So I'm going to start with a really straightforward one using this. So these pictures will fit on that space where it says attach here. So that's the space for your specimen. And you've also got lots of options to fill in these tags. So let's take, I'm just going to take a number stamp, if I can find a small one. There we go, I've got a number stamp. Just make sure that's up the right way. I've got barn door there. And these are quite old, so you never quite know whether they're gonna stamp. Perfect, look at that. So while you're making these, you never have to have 2 that look the same. They can always look different. So let's find a few little technical difficulties there. Finally back. So I can't even remember what we'd done. We just put the stamps on, really, hadn't we? Let's add another one. Let's add another stamp. What have we got? Put my glasses back on and I can see. Okay. That's pretty good. So we've got this. We've got notes at the back here, and I'm going to find... these are my Mackie stamps that I've just put onto a sheet. I'm going to use my Mackie stamp. Which way up does that go? Right, okay. There we go. Quite like that. The start of our tag. Now we're going to keep this one simple, like I said. So we've got a bit of stamping on there. I'm going to add the image. I'm going to put that there. We've got some labels. Oh, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I'm actually going to add another stamp on here. There we go. I'd like to get a few tags done if I could, or at least 3. That would be good. We can do at least 3 tags. So I'll glue this. Quite like that. So I'm going to glue my tag closed. I'd like to add one of these little holotype. Ooh, holotype label. Oh, don't want to add it there though. Let's put that here. Wipe that glue off quickly. Okay. So let's grab. I've got a pen and I've put the holotype on there, so I'm just going to tick that box. I'm liking that. I'm actually going to put There we go. Little squiggle there, so it looks a bit like a signature. It's not brilliant, obviously. Let's grab... My rubber's fallen. My rubber handle has fallen off my... There goes my acetate. So that is a very, very simple tag. Just using stamps and the elements that come with the tag. So that's tag number 1. Let's have a look at another one. Now on this one, what I've done is I've cut out the attach here piece. And I've got a sheet of fairly thin acetate. Oh, I'm going to fold the edge over on this. Not too much. That will do. And I'm just going to cut a section out. Okay. So that will go here. Put that aside for a second. I'm going to do some more stamping. So I've got my piece of acetate. That's a little bit big. I'm going to trim this down. Right. Now I'm going to be doing a little Q&A kind of video. Some of it's going to be technical things that I can actually help with. I can't help with everything technical. But some of it will be technical and some of it is going to be journal related. And somebody has asked me, which glue do I use to stick acetate and how do I sew it so it doesn't move around? Now, I always end up sewing, to be perfectly honest, most of the time. If I'm not sewing and it's hidden, then I use a double-sided tape. If it's like this, what I do is I use art glitter glue. And I'm not going to glue close to the edge because I am going to sew. So I'm going to stick this one down here like that in place. And I find art glitter glue will stick reasonably well. And I'm going to glue around here and stick that. Now I've got my little pressed flowers here. Some of them I've purchased. This one is one that I have pressed myself, and I'm going to add that. Now I'm just going to put that in place like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue around here, and then I'm going to glue the tag closed. And it's very easy, it's much easier when you've got the acetate hidden like this. So I'm going to close that and then burnish that down. And like I said in my sewing tips video, I'll link that here or there or there. I'm never sure where they go, but I'll link that. And I talk about making sure your glue is perfectly dry. Now, because we've actually glued, I've got a lot of bits on here because there's a lot of bits on my board apparently. So that is the tag so far. Now what I intend to do is sew around the edge and sew around here. So I'll do that. There we go. So, I mean, this may slide down, but it's not going to go any further than that stitching. So I'm really happy with that, like the way it turned out. Put an eyelet in here. I do think art glitter glue holds the acetate quite well, as long as it's dry, as long as you let it dry. So that's tag number 2. I'm going to do a medium-sized one. Find a very small stamp. Tim Holtz. Put that there. Go back for my red. I'm going to use one of those to shield that. That's not bad. Not perfect, but that's not bad. Okay. Now for this one, I'm going to use one of the florals again that came with it. And I'm simply going to glue this down to start with. Now this time I'm going to grab one of the very small labels, ink that. I'm going to grab another stamp, just randomly stamp on there. Let's use another hollow type, I think. I want to give this quite a layered look, this particular tag. Let's put it there. Just grabbed a piece of packaging and I'm going to actually layer up a couple of these. Let's use those two. I'm going to cut these out. And glue our tag together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a small hole in these. And a hole in here. I'm not going to fit an eyelet this time, just going to hang those. Now yesterday I took an old book apart and I've got some really nice old twine here. And that is our hangy tag, which I love. Absolutely love it. I haven't done hangy tags for a little while, but I love that. And that can be clipped into the journal at the top, or it could even be sewn in. So, and that will turn over for extra writing space. So tag number 3 is done. Now tag number 4, I'm going for a teeny tiny tag. Teeny tiny tag for this. So the first thing I'm going to do is glue this one together before I ink it. Let's grab another stamp or a stamp. I'll go for this. I'm just going to stamp there on this one. And then what I'm going to do is grab a little label here, ink this one up, I think. Just put that on there like that. Then I'm going to grab my stamp book. Let's see how this fits. Perfect. This is why I wanted little ones, because I have so many stamps. I want to start using them, and I thought this was a fantastic way. And you don't have to stick to being botanical. These tags can be used for any theme journal. I mean, let's face it, if you think about the layaway tags we use all the time, or the alteration tags, they're really not, we don't use them for clothing or fashion journals, so we use them for all sorts of things. And the same applies to this. You can use these for all sorts of tags. So I love that. Let's put a little hole in. Grab another piece of this vintage thread. I mean, it's amazing. This piece of thread comes from 1887. There we go. Look at that. Lovely. So let me think of one more thing we could possibly do. I'm just going to ink this. I don't suppose anyone can guess why I purchased this stamp. Okay, we can add, let's add a label. Right, so I'm going to go back to my flowers. Let's find something. Okay, right, I'm going to go for that. Now, this is not the easiest thing to do, I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to turn this over, and I'm just going to try and put a blob of glue on each petal. And I'm just going to rub a small amount of glue up the stem where I can. Turn that over. Okay. Now this is going to be very delicate. Got some very plain washi tape here. Just going to apply a little bit of glue to the back here. And then glue that on. So that's that so far. Now, I think that's probably going to be rather delicate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece out roughly to fit over this tag. I'm going to stamp on here. I'm actually going to cover up that number 44 now. So I'm going to add my label. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, this is going to be quite interesting to see how this works. I'm going to layer my tag on top of my acetate. I'm not going to glue this on. I'm going to take it to my sewing machine. I'm going to start in this bottom corner, get the needle in to hold it in place, and then I'm going to very slowly sew around. Okay, that worked really well. I just didn't do it very fast. So I'm now going to turn this over and cut around my tag. I mean, for the packaging, for the acetate, you can use any packaging plastic. Even a thinner plastic would be fine. That would work well. You might have a little bit of trouble sewing that on your machine. But I actually absolutely love it. I'm going to put a hole in this one and an eyelet. So there you go, that's another one. So what have we got? We've got our very simple one. We've got the one with the little window. We've got the acetate front. We've got the hangy tag, which is lovely. And we've got this teeny tiny one with the stamps. And this is the one that I think I'm going to print a lot more of, because it's just a great way to use stamps. Right, that's it. I hope you liked it. I hope you like the kit. I know there are only 4 tags, but like I said, they did take some doing. So I will be back really soon. Take care. Bye.